This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room? Please be right. Indeed, the security room is the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor, so you can see the entire lot. I knew that. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen that phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness not being a part of the prosecutor's office couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the petition is here. I knew that. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room. Yes? See, I did know about the boyfriend. Well, Miss Starr? How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel's Star. I was right for the wrong reasons. It's kind of right. Sort of right.
Order, witness. What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty? She's talking about this guy? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? Doesn't make sense. Well, she said that Miss Starr and Mr. Edgeworth cost her job 2 years ago, so it ain't too funky. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. This photograph tells all that was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. See, that's why it's relevant to him, because that's still holding. It still stands. I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. That's okay, don't... Shh, it's fine. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason.
So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Uh-oh.
Huh? Me?
Who else?
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Don't even worry, Shard Prince. We got to the proper destination. Besides, I missed it too, so just don't worry about it. This is a game where stumbling through is okay. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. Must make a vital difference. But what? What would change?
Difference in lighting, clearly.
It's gotta be the distance. The crime was huge. Angle and view of the crimes, eh. And she could have. I like this difference in lighting. Just throw that out there, that'd be wrong. It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Skye?
Well, witness?
You. Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right?
How did she know?
Quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
Boysenberry for the boyfriend.
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. Before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it.
You gotta be kidding me.
There is so much time she could not have seen the whole scene undertake. It's like the worst witness. That's why I had to go through the visitors parking B block.
That's quite a detour.
That's an understatement, Judge. That's a huge detour. It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
For 5 minutes?
Oh my gosh.
This changes things considerably.
No. Really. But I wasn't that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork. Nice.
You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention.
I don't know about that. Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely.
Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this? I mean, I know I should raise an objection, but I'm not sure what I'm going for because sit back and observe is probably never the answer. Objection. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could bake pasta in the amount of time. If you like it al dente. I've got lunch boxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank, isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor?
Well, I guess I'd get the hell out of there. Hey. Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone.
But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. Miss Skye dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. Dawdled? No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. I mean, there's actually been real criminals that have dawdled at the scene of the crime, so I mean, it's not completely unheard of.
Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth is the next witness ready to go.
Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it. We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. That was too close.
I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned.
Whew, we made it through. Oh, no we didn't. Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's the ones you tried to foist off on me. I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that?
Is this another one of her trick lunch boxes?
My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Ms. Starr.
Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo! A triple-decker. Out of deference to the witness determination, I'll allow one more testimony.
Oh, come on. One more?
Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she gonna pull out of her lunchbox this time? Ha! Lunchbox. All right, here we go. should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up?
No, nobody's brought up the shoe thing.
2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Alana Sky. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
What? There was blood found on that shoe.
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
Why does this come out now? What's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Why is it the first time anyone's heard of this evidence?
Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
And you had blood tests performed.
Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensic.
Seriously? In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. For 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating. I mean, yeah, it was kind of illegally seized and could have been tampered with, so yeah, it's kind of going to be checked out.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth.
Uh-oh.
Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today.
Ooh.
Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, never mind, Edgeworth ain't happy. Oh, this judge is pretty dense.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
Seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
Prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
Victim's shoe added to the court record. White enamel shoe bears traces of blood from Goodman and Lana Sky. Yeah, I don't know how she's able to keep afloat, but I guess they're all sugar daddies, and she just carries lunches around just to kind of have as a cover story, I guess. I don't know. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Ugh. Well, I've no idea what to rip into this, so... I mean, I could slam on this, but there's nothing really there that I'll probably gain. I'm out of victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? Press that. What's wrong with you? Of course, victim and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. Let's press that. You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test.
You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie?
Huh.
Well, speak up.
Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. There's gonna be like A, B, C, and D. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. Which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood shown to just one person. Or so I hear.
That's pretty specific.
If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lana Skies.
So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe.
The ties are directly to the death of Detective Goodman.
I was afraid he was going to say that. Ooh. Shoe proves it. It's flawless evidence. So, you brought it to the forensics department.
If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it proved. That evidence must be analyzed by a forensic expert. And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective.
The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it.
Oh, thank you, Judge. Well, the man was stabbed after all.
And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman?
As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe.
She proves it was Faw's taste. Let's press that. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight.
You ordered the peppered fish guts, right?
Ugh.
Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with the shoe?
A problem?
This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe?
Hold on. I would like to inspect the shoe before I make a. I now have a problem with the shoe.
Why is there blood on the bottom?
That would mean the victim would have had to have stepped in it. But first, check this one.
This blood, it's my sister's, right?
It appears so.
Lana's right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime. Poor sis.
Okay, just making sure there's nothing else. The blood underneath is kind of an issue. We'll investigate this before we dive in and say there is a problem, because there is a problem, but I wouldn't have known what the...
Ah, there's blood here too.
On the sole of the shoe, it's got to be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood.
All this blood, it's horrible.
This blood might be an important clue. I think we got it all. Second, just check this. Death due to loss of blood. One knife wound died within an hour and a half. There's a problem. Now we're ready to see this problem. I'm not imagining things. I'd say there's one critical problem with this evidence, a clear contradiction.
Gleam in your eyes, you're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. I'm gonna present the heel, or well, the bottom of the shoe. I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of the shoe. Oh.
Don't mess with me, rookie, or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe.
I believe that was a threat.
Right. See?
Indeed, there's quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe.
It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of a shoe?
It's the blue badger. That's contradictory. I just proves I'm an attorney. That just proves the victim was a detective. Like, that's nothing. Wouldn't have been that. That's not helpful. A parking stop's not helpful. That's not helpful. Death was due to loss of blood. Surprise, the guy died to blood loss. His memo is useless. I don't know if it's...
Like, I don't know if the report would have any issues with the blood, because he was still alive for a bit, so he could have wandered around. The only thing I could... The only thing I could probably hit it with is the photo, because I've got a lot of things that don't match, like, can't use my attorney badge to prove I'm an attorney. His ID's useless, trophy's useless, the knife is not gonna help us with the shoe, like, good, he was bleeding, surprise. This is just a parking ticket to prove the prosecutor's car was there, which the murder happened at. The mascot is useless. I think the autopsy report doesn't really help. The note is useless. The cell phone has nothing to do with blood on the bottom of a shoe. Parking lot floor plans wouldn't help me. So I really think I'm down to the crime photo, and the only fact is that the fact that where this happened, there's no blood on the ground? Maybe? It's like I'm fishing on this because I just think everything else doesn't work, but this is the only thing that's kinda works. Unless it was the victim's shoe, not the murderer's shoes. Because this guy was in all white, the victim who died. But, I mean, maybe that's what they're gonna go with. It's the only thing I've got that works, so I'm gonna present it, and we'll either lose on it or not. The only thing I can really say is that there's maybe it wasn't blood, maybe it was oil after she spilled it, not blood. It's the only thing I've got that kind of works, so take that. The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? There's no bloody footprints? Yeah, see, this thing is, like, I don't get why he has blood in his shoe, but I don't know why I get contradicted. Why aren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh, ha! So I was kind of right on the right thing, I just wasn't 100% sure why it was going to be a thing. I mean, he could have hobbled around, because when he got stabbed, he bled out, which took him time, so he could have fumbled around, but there were no bloody footprints. I knew that. Totally. As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about the shoe. Hey, Lady Hawk, how's it going? This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order, order, order. Well, witness. What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
Oh. That's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint.
Think, Mr. Wright, think.
Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions.
What?
I see, now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We are hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There's one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. They're gonna say about the oil drum that got knocked over and probably took out all the blood.
Chief prosecutor tried to resist, but efforts were in vain. She knocked my hand aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that? I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
The slowest conveyor belt.
Witness, well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water.
Water? What does that mean?
Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason?
Aha! You don't mean?
Yes, the suspect knocked over the oil drum for one reason and one reason alone.
To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Oh no.
That ties things up quite nicely.
Whose side are you on, Judge?
Bloodstains left on the victim's shoe tie her quite clearly to this murder. That after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs.
Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. See? That reminds me, this guy's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe.
Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial.
Mr. Wright, do something, please.
I've checked. What can I do?
Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But
Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor.
Very well.
But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water.
This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Skye.
Hold it.
Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are, demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox? A lunchbox called Evidence?
Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else.
The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments, and you will be held in contempt of court.
Your threats don't scare the cough-up queen. Look at this.
A photograph?
You gotta be kidding me.
I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait! Look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet.
There's also something in the exhaust there. I'm gonna have to look at the photo again.
Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all.
It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway.
There was something in the exhaust.
Sorry, Nia.
Right. Wet or not. Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. I have no idea why she was taking so many photos. Like, she was all over this crime scene. Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. It's the last piece of evidence.
Very well, this time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Go on, Phoenix.
Your Honor, wait! What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait?
No, it can't. Then it'll be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So right. Are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence?
Yeah.
I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this.
I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem with this photograph.
Well, I mean, there's something in the exhaust, which is the thing. But the problem is if he was stabbed in the trunk, he'd bleed in here. Can't really wash anything away, and the shoe's off his foot, so it wasn't like he was walking anywhere. But, you know, let's just not point out the millions of issues with this photo. So, you know, don't worry about it. There's like 0 problems with this at all. None. At all. I can only find one issue.
The problem in this photograph is here.
What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth.
Your Honor?
You just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph.
There it is. A muffler is also a part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe.
I see, and I see.
See, that's what I thought she was referring to when she said muffler, not a scarf of clothing or anything. Because she didn't have one.
What's this suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
Huh. So what if there is something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I still also find it hard to believe that all the people looking over this crime scene were totally ignore the fact that A, there was water that washed things away, that there was something in the muffler exhaust, or if they just went up and they're like, they were stabbed, and we have a witness. Good enough for me. Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. Well, we're going to present this because the word muffler was overheard during the call, so clearly she must have put something in the muffler. Wait, what? In fact, you already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. I was a little early on presenting that fact. What? What?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to the case.
I was a step too early. My bad.
Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court.
Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler?
Arg. Yarr.
Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh, busted. Nailed it.
Well, it seems we have to suspend the proceedings.
Suspend?
I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. Leave any questions unanswered here. We do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed?
I suppose so. Whew, that was close. But
We made it. At least for now. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime, after all.
He's still hungry? I would like to save the progress. February 23rd, 11:56 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Mr. Wright.
Huh? What?
Are trials always like this with you? Like, you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake, about to reach the surface, but no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there?
Pretty much. Except today we're swimming in quicksand. So what happened to your sister anyway?
Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers.
Probably something to do with that piece of cloth.
So, this is where we turn this trial around, right? Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth.
That is like the worst thing you want to be relying on. I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth. Aww. Hola, partner. They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up its temper. That's why they told me when I was a young'un, at least.
Officer Marshall!
Thought I'd come take a look, see how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They've got the home ranch locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory. That hard to slip out, huh?
What is going on over there anyway? All the police I've seen these last 2 days have been really on edge.
Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You'll be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example.
Officer Marshall? The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf.
Is he drinking on the job?
You don't say. Now don't that just beat all? I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day too. She was wearing a red muffler.
Yeah, you know, they all gotta stand out with their fashion, except for these two guys over here. They're just plain clothes jeans.
What?
At the award ceremony that afternoon, Edgeworth's seen it too, I'd reckon.
What does that mean? And the photograph taken at the crime scene. She wasn't wearing a scarf. What? Maybe she took the scarf off, or it was too warm.
That doesn't sound likely. It must be impertinent to this crime.
So Miss Starr wasn't mistaken.
Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. And sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell.
Ugh, I have a bad feeling about this. Unless the cloth in the muffler was her scarf.
So, what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright?
If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Woo-wee!
Yeah, we're swimming in steak sauce, everybody.
I'd like to resume.
What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution. Whoa!
Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused, you're doubled over, your back is bent. It can't be. This can't happen.
I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth.
Well then, I believe it is time we continued on with this trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. This is unacceptable. It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself.
Excuse me, knock knock. Praise.
Who's there?
Whoa! Change of music and everything. What's with this guy? Strange, stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom. Those eyes, the glasses, holy Toledos.
Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees with that man came in.
It's the devil.
Who on earth is he?
Maybe he's not from Earth.
Ah, it's you.
You gonna say anything there, buddy?
Oh, sorry I'm late, Gee. The roads were packed, it's just me. Long time no see, eh, Gee? How you been? Swim much these days?
Ah, hello. No, I've been so busy.
Busy, smizzy, Gee. My boy, you have to make time to relax. Could be the brother of the judge.
Yes, indeed.
Udgy seems to be his nickname for the judge.
I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Sorry, but who are you?
Aha, so you're Righto, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son.
Thanks.
So sorry about our little Worthy giving you all that trouble, eh?
You know, we should all go swimming together sometime.
Jolly.
Look. Little Worthy?
Mr. Wright.
You don't know the district chief of police? Chief of police. Oh, we're screwed.
He's the top-ranking police officer in this entire district.
We're screwed. Name's Gant. Damon Gant. Pleased to meet you, everyone.
So, to what do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it?
Well, it's Worthy here. Look at the poor fella. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this. Yes, it's the muffler. I mean, scarf. Hey, that's my sister's muffler. Still so weird that it's called that. So Miss Star wasn't just seeing things. When the crime occurred, Miss Sky really was wearing that muffler. But to think that it was stuffed in that exhaust pipe. On little Worthy's car, no less. Switchblade? It's really quite embarrassing, even for us.
What's this?
It's what you call a switchblade knife. I was right. Okay. Quite perplexing, this. I mean, a muffler could be a scarf. I've never heard it called that, but maybe it's a high fashion thing. I'll have to ask Lady Hawk when she gets back. She knows more of these things than I.
Chief, what kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth.
How could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? Now, wait a minute, Worthy. I've no desire to hear your excuse. I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature is there. Miles Edgeworth? That's not fair. On the day of the crime, I had your head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology. What, are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words.
This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. Gah. The court accepts this new evidence. But I'd like to ask the defense a favor first.
Yes?
Just to be sure. I'd like to take a look at the blade of this knife.
The blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not.
Could you open it up for me, I wonder?
Yes, well, I think all you have to do is push that switch end.
If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore.
Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I wouldn't be able to point it at people anymore. Come on, just hurry up and open it. I'm gonna stab myself with a switchblade. What is all this? This isn't interesting? This This stuff right here, this goop? Apparently not. The blade's broken.
Wah, don't scare me like that.
I'm the one who's scared.
Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off.
Whoa, and there's blood. This dark red state. Blood? Switchblade knife added to the court record. Found at the crime scene, wrapped to the defendant's muffler. Small tag attached. This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself.
I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us about the split between the prosecutors and the police and this knife?
Sure thing. Not a problem. Not even a little one, really. Department in disorder. Yeah, could be stuff from the exhaust, I guess, but it was wrapped in... This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. A detective was killed at the police department, see? What a mess. The time of the crime, 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this case, so I can't talk much about it.
There was a murder at the police department? A detective?
That's hush-hush information, Haji. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Wait a second. You said 5:15? That's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office.
Order.
Anyway, we at the department, we're all a little flustered. As you might well assume. We're in the middle of a top secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay?
I think we understand the police department situation. Well, Mr. Wright.
2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places.
The chances of that are really slim, scientifically speaking, of course.
I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness.
Very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand.
Sure. There was a... This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Actually, before we do anything, I'm gonna... Is there anything else on this? Right. Gotta work on my mouse and keyboard skills here. Yeah, swimming. It's important.
There's a small tag on the knife.
It says SL92.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm not sure. It reminds me of a similar code. DL6, maybe it's a case number?
That's weird.
What?
I don't remember where, but I think I've seen something like this before.
It's on the note in our possessions, so...
Something similar to what's written on this tag. It wasn't that long ago either.
Maybe I should check the court record again. Seriously, they picked like the worst controls for this. It's probably better on the DS, but like, seriously, who uses H, N, B, and M to rotate this thing? And then you've got the arrow keys to move this around. It's bad. It's this. That's the, if I can't rotate it, but if you turn your head upside down, that looks like SL9, which is on the back of that, and then there's a 2. I don't know what the 21 is if I assume the note's upside down for 2 seconds. So, yeah. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. There is, but I'm not sure if I... Because there is evidence, so we need to get him to talk about this other crime. So we're going to present that note. Wait a second. Ah, at last an honest-to-goodness objection. This knife. This has to have something to do with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean?
Aha! An honest-to-goodness, what do you mean from Udgy? This is great. Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL92.
And this is important? Why?
Over here we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim.
What's this? 6 minus 7s 12 2?
Your Honor, it's upside down.
Upside.
The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around and what do you get? I imagine this probably would have been way easier to check on a DS. Flipped it over easy.
Aha!
Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down.
SL9. That's the same thing that is written on the knife's tag. Order, order. Well, Chief.
Ah, well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win. Righto. I win? What game is this guy playing? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. That it was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. Detective was killed at the police department's mask. Time of the crime, 15 scaries. Okay, so he changed his first. The knife was evidence in a case. Well, I guess I gotta start pressing him on stuff because I don't think there's anything that I've got screaming that's separate to it. So, press. So this knife was stolen. Oop, grab it. Yes, but on the day of the murder. It was evidence, you say. Was it, in fact, a murder weapon? Nice, nice, nice. Good show, Little Worthy. It was a murder weapon, as it happens. It was evidence from a case long since solved. So this knife was stolen on the day of the murder. It's probably unrelated. And it was found in the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car. Why'd I think there isn't a connection there? It's a bad day for the department who weren't in any shape to do an investigation. Press it. Something happened at the police department too, huh? You got a good look in your eyes there. Righto, my boy. Sharp. Hungry. So, something did happen. And why wasn't I informed? Why weren't you informed? Well, why didn't you ask? No matter, I understand. You were busy with what Lana's case and all. Well, what happened? What happened to the police department that day? Detective was killed at the police department. See, what a mess. Press. On the same day the detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department. That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Udgy?
I'm at a loss for words.
And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrest him, in fact. Just arrested? That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, righto? I suppose I could help if you help me by giving me data on your case. Oh, good one! This kid's sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing and one thing only. When the victim died, we know that. How the victim was killed, I'm assuming it's stabbed. Maybe I do want to ask how it was killed. Where was the victim found? Police station, so it's probably not what we care about. Where is important, you think? Don't we already know that's a police station? I'm going to trust you on this. Because I'm assuming the victim was killed by stabbing. When the victim died, we already know it was 5:15, so that's a bogus one. So, okay, well, I guess, trust you on where. Heavy says police station of crime. So tell me, where was the victim found? Parking lot? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department. The evidence room? Wait a second. I've heard of that. The evidence room? Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. There's a connection between the two cases.
You seem happy, Mr. Wright.
Happy. Happy we just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case? The link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get to testify about the details. It's not officially linked to this case, so I can't talk much about it. Huh. Well, let's press him on that. Chief. The defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. Heh, you don't say. Well, out with it, righto. What's your connection?
Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright.
The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Good call, Shard. Good call on that. Where was it port? Not to mention the victim had on him the case number of the knife's evidence tag. And we also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room.
Indeed. There do seem to be many connections for it to be a coincidence.
You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right here. Chief, I request that you release your information on the victim at the police department. See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet and all. Can we get the information unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all. What? Really?
Who would have guessed?
I'll corroborate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department, okay? Okay, I guess press that. If you're gonna tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Ah, well, in case if it's just stinky stuff, you have to do everything properly. Oh well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can out of him. Let's start with the victim's ID number. I don't know if that'll help anything. Okay. How will you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that. Of course not. You won't tell me their name after all. We keep a tight lid on ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. The number is 5842189. That's Goodman's ID. But if he was murdered there, who was murdered in the trunk?